What is going on, guys? So by the title of the video, you guys should already know what's going on here. We got another package, I'm assuming from Wish, because I don't really order anything else currently. So the only thing that this thing says on it is car light. So I'm assuming I know what it is. I think it's for the interior, because everything I ordered was for interior, so it's definitely for the interior. But this is something, if I'm thinking of what it is something that costs like $300 from the factory, and I got it off Wish for like $10. So I'm really curious if this should be what I think it is. I'm just really curious to see how the quality actually is compared to like an OEM part that you get from the factory, if this is any good, if it's actually gonna work. So let's open this up and find that out. So inside we have this. And this is exactly what I thought it was. Now looking at what this is, you guys can probably tell it's an RGB kit, and it's actually for the floor Footwell lighting. So I'm gonna open, oh, it's ziplocked nicely. So it comes like this. This time we don't have any branding on our tape. It's not 3V, it's not M3, it's not 3M. It's just not branded this time. So what it looks like is, you know, it just plugs into this. There's 4 different strands, so 1 for each seat, so 2 in the front, 2 in the back. I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna put these in the back because no one really sits back there and you can't really fit back there. And then it comes with an IR remote, which is actually pretty cool, so I can change the colors of whatever I want it to be. There was 2 options for this kit. There was a Bluetooth option and then the remote option. I want the remote because I don't even know if this one's gonna work, and the Bluetooth one was actually a decent amount more money. So I don't know how to wire. It doesn't look like we have to wire because it just has the cigarette lighter thing with the push button start. But eventually I'm probably gonna wanna wire this in if it actually works. So that'll be another adventure in itself because I have no clue how to wire or anything like that. But I think the first thing first is we should go test it out and see if it actually works. I'm sure it will, I'm just not sure how bright they're gonna get. Now this is a pretty thick board, and usually when you see LEDs, they're not that thick, so this quality actually seems quite decent. And they all seem to be the same size, but maybe I'll put 2 up front on each side just for why not, because you can't use the back seat, so it's kind of pointless having a light back there, but we'll definitely see. So let's go head outside and see if these actually work. The one thing I've noticed about getting Wish parts that is like, it's kind of a weird thing to notice, but things just smell really weird. And I opened it up and it has a weird smell to it. It's like it smells like cheap rubber. I'm not sure if it's dangerous or not, but just how it smells. So I guess the first thing to do now is just see if it actually works. So we'll have it turned off for right now and we'll just plug it in here. Turn the car on. And then we'll press the button. And they work. And they're actually pretty bright, like surprisingly. So just holding it down there, you can actually see my feet pretty well. And if you take it away, it's dark. So I mean, they're relatively bright, so they don't seem like they're that bad quality. But I think I'm definitely gonna double them up on both sides. I think if I put 2 on each side, it'll make it look a little bit better because again, no one sits in the back seat because you can't fit in the back seat. So I think 2 on that side will be good. Now, where did I put the remote? Now, something that I noticed that's actually kind of interesting. So you can see that these are red now. And if I turn on my dome light, it is also red. I found out that this controller that connects to that also connects to the floor lighting now. So if this is red and that is red, and I press the blue button, except you gotta aim it pretty good to get the colors right, but you can see it's all the same like bulbs and same IR frequency, which is kind of interesting. Being a BRZ owner, you'll notice that you have one 12-volt thing in like the glove box area, and that's not a very good area for anything just because that's where your cup holders are if you actually use your cup holders. There's another 12-volt in your glove box, so we're actually going to utilize that because I really didn't even know if there was in there. Like there was one in there, but I looked and there is. So I'm going to try to wire it using that so I don't really have to wire into my battery. I can just keep it plugged into there at all times. But you can, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it's tucked up like back here. So it's open the glove box in the back, there's a little cover over it. Now back here, you're gonna see there's a little hole. I'm trying to use my phone flashlight to get this. But if you feed it through that little hole, the cable, if I can get it to light up there, you can actually just toss it through there. So that way the cable just kind of hangs and goes down into the floor. So now we just plug it in and don't have to worry about it anymore. But it is nice that you can still use the glove box even if you have that plugged in, and it still works just fine. And this way it'll make it a lot easier because I don't have to actually wire anything. I just keep plugged in there, out of sight, out of mind, it all works. Another really nice thing about that cigarette lighter in there is that it is actually a powered one. And what I mean by that is when your car is off, it turns off. When your car is on, it'll turn on. So that's nice because it won't drain your battery that way, because I know some cars, if your car is off, it stays on all the time, and that would drain your battery. So that means you have to reach in there every time to poke the button to turn it off. This isn't the case for this one. This one always just stays off when the car is off. Now we have the car on just to see if everything's plugging in correctly and all the lights work, because my biggest fear is the lights are just gonna stop working, because LEDs from China tend to do this sometimes, but everything is still working. So now the next challenge is to find out how to get 2 of those lights on the driver's side without having any wires showing or anything like that, because the last thing I want is it to have a really cheap look to it. So we're gonna try to figure that out a little bit and see what we can do about it. A little fun fact that I just found out, because I was thinking about taking off the entire center console to run wires through it, but I found out if you take off the side trim underneath your little knee pad thing, it just slides right through. So you take this little thing off, so it's a little plastic piece that looks like this, and it was really easy to remove. You just stick your fingers under, pry it under, and then you can just stick it through a hole, and bam, we're on the other side already. So I'm gonna do that with the other one, and then we're already good to start mounting up, I think. Just like that, now we have both lights on this side of the car, 2 lights on that side, so it made it really easy and simple to do that. So if you guys couldn't tell what I was talking about, I'm gonna use my phone flashlight to point it out as much as I can. But you have this panel right here, and then right underneath is this, and then you just have to run the wires through it, and it just snaps right back into place. And honestly, it kind of makes it look nice and tidy and teedy, or whatever you want to call it already. So we just have to kind of clean up the wires a little bit, mount it to the bottom of the car, and then we should be good. Stuck them right here next to each other, and so far it actually looks pretty good. My hair is a mess, that's why I'm wearing a hat. But it looks pretty good. They're relatively bright. I'm kind of curious to see how they look at night. I'm gonna clean up all these wires to make it actually look good and safe, because otherwise it's gonna be dangerous as fuck. So we're gonna clean up the wires a little bit, go ahead and mount the other side up, and then do a little video about how they look. And I mounted the passenger side ones a little bit farther back because I wanted to, so they look more like that. So now I'm gonna go see if I have any zip ties so we can actually like tidy up all these wires and see if I have more tape to tuck everything away, because I don't want it to look bad. Now, there's an IR thing that we have to make sure is visible to the remote at all times. So I'm not really sure where I'm gonna mount that up yet, but I have to make sure that that is visible so the remote can actually get to it. So I'm gonna go inside and see what I got in terms of like zip ties and things. Back with my findings, I found some old zip ties and some Scotch tape. So hopefully that does the trick. So I'm gonna tidy up these wires using the zip ties and then try to tape them a little bit underneath like the steering column plastic thing, and do the same on the other side. So I'm gonna quickly do that and show you guys what it looks like. You can see where the actual lights are, and all the wires actually just tucked underneath. I was planning to actually tape them underneath somewhere so they wouldn't fall, but they kind of tucked in there like perfectly. So we're gonna do the other side. Hopefully they can find another place to tuck them like that, because that would just make my life a lot easier and a lot less tape. Close to how I want it to look on this side. So when you're looking at it regularly, you really can't see wires, but the tape I have holding it on there right now really isn't the best tape in the world. I'm using painter's tape. So I'm gonna go around the store, get some actual double-sided tape so I can actually mount it properly to make it look good. Other side should be completely secure without any tape, but this side's definitely gonna need some, so I'm gonna go do that real quick. I think I turned them off. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so we're gonna run to the hardware store real quick so I can fix this side to make it look less janky. You can't see any wires right now, but I know when I start driving it's gonna fall, so let's go do that real quick. Couple of good stories from when I was just driving from my house to Lowe's. One, it was funny, I was following a bus the whole time. These kids were freaking out every time they saw my car. Like, they were all staring and they loved it. We went to a red light, they all told me to rev my engine. I don't know if you can hear that in the school bus, but I did it anyways, because you gotta give love to the kids. That sounded really bad. Two, everything seems secure with this. I don't think anything fell out, so that's a plus. And number three, I was just driving again behind the bus, and this truck just flew, right? He was just flying towards me. Noticed it was undercover, and I was super scared because I thought I was about to get pulled over, but didn't pull me over, so we're okay. So I'm gonna go run to Lowe's, get some double-sided tape just to make sure this is secure enough to drive around longer distances, because I don't want that falling out, especially if I have like people in the car, like my friends. That'd be kind of embarrassing almost, being like, wow, you did a really janky-ass job on that. You could have done better. So I'm gonna go get some double-sided tape, and we're gonna go fix the problems. So we just got some 9-pound hold Scotch double-sided tape. I think this should be plenty. I don't think that thing's 9 pounds. It's like 2 ounces. So that should be plenty. So we're gonna go home now, put that on, just make sure everything looks secure still. Something I just noticed, I just turned the car on, the lights didn't turn on, but then I turned my car off and then back on again and it turned on. So I'm not sure if that's a problem with it or I'm not really sure. So we'll see if I have any more issues with it. I'm definitely gonna make a review video about this just to see if anything changes with it. The control box is nice and put out of the way now, so now you really can't see it. I'm gonna try to make a little edit, even though my floors are really dirty and it's not night, so I'm not sure how good everything's gonna pick up, but let's see how this looks. Realized that you probably couldn't see any of it at all, so I'm just gonna leave that those like 3 or 4 clips I just did. So comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, guys. Keep doing you. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.